Hello. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Hello. I need to get a water. 1 second. I had to put it on normal latency because I have no idea why this would be, but it just kept spinning in the little live stream thingy in the studio area. So it's on normal latency, which probably means there's a slight delay. We're nearing the end of day 2, which means if you haven't backed a $35 tier or beyond in 1 hour and 53 minutes, you will not get the Tainted Isaac figurine included in your order for free. But once that time is up, let's never discuss it again, because we don't want people coming in thinking that they didn't get something. So be nice. Don't rub it in. Don't even talk about it. It never happened. We're going to remove the image, the Tainted Isaac image from the Kickstarter, and it's like it never happened. It's a secret between the early birds and us. And that's that. Do you guys want to go over... I'll do some questions. Okay, so I'll do like 20 minutes of questions. Then I'll show the next to-do list for the planetarium, and then we can just jump into general questions and chill out for a little while, and you guys can mull over. You can ask me questions about what should be done for whatever else. You guys are moving too fast. The Kickstarter is moving too fast in general. It's very hard to keep up. I scrambled around a lot today, made a lot of contacts, made some new contacts, new artists, a lot of people contacting me about wanting to be a part of it. I think I have roughly 40 to 45 artists right now. I have for alt art cards. I have about 37 of those cards 100% finished and ready to go. So last time we had 38,000 backers by the end, and right now we basically have 30,000 backers, closing in on that. So if I need to make more, I need to make more. This Kickstarter is bound to slow down soon. It will slow. It'll like cut its daily average in half until it drops down to very little, and then we'll coast for a while, and then maybe when we unlock some stuff or whatever else will happen, we'll get little bumps, and then there'll be the mad dash at the end, and it'll go back up. I am not a person who like looks up and tries to quantify what we'll end at if we start at this, how many more backers we're gonna get, and yada yada yada, but I promise that I will find more artists if it goes over 45,000 backers. I will find more artists and we will keep going. That's actually something Javon and I had a discussion about, and he's like, well, what if this thing does, if we're going to do an unlock for every 1,000 backers, what if this thing does more than 40,000 backers? You're going to find 40 artists? And I'm like, I'm going to try. And it surprisingly wasn't that hard. Definitely a lot of bucket list, personal celebrity types for me. I really enjoyed working with these people, so that's super cool. We also passed 3.5. We're actually almost sitting at 3.6 million. There's a sizable, a really cool unlock, the pin. which will also probably unlock the pin as an add-on, which will unlock 5 free pins for anybody who's done the $800 tier for free. And we'll just kind of go from there. Let me go over some questions. Ask me any general Kickstarter questions. I will only be answering the general Kickstarter questions, and then later on we can do general non-Kickstarter questions once we kind of go over everything. And I'm just going to assume everyone here has seen all of the Slay the Spire cards that just went up a little while ago, all the Splunky cards from the day before, and all of the Edmund McMillan cards from also the day before. This has only been going for almost 2 days, So, ask me your questions. I'll tell you no lies. The boys are in the bathroom zipping up. Their flies are in the meadow. The bees are in the park. Miss Susie and her boyfriend are kissing in the dark. Now I'm going to look. Where Slay Spire? It's on fucking Twitter, dude. That's how I assumed that you came here, but I guess maybe you just follow me on the YouTube, and that's what got you here. I post the unlocks first on Twitter for the cool kids, and then shortly after that, Javon compiles a really cool summary of the day at the end of the day, and then that all goes into. I'm going to also assume that you guys saw the 5 alt art cards that were unlocked in the morning, which were also cool. We're up to 10 of those spoiled. 30 of them have been unlocked, and I will do 5 a day. I might slow it down a little bit more so we have some more going on. Maybe I'll do 5 more tomorrow, and then I'll slow it down and I'll do 3 and then 2, and then I'll just start doing 1 a day as we go. How many heart tokens are included in the big box? There are 10. There are also now 10 tier tokens included in the big box. I'm not sure if Javon has updated the tier art, but it may have happened. Let me look. That's a big no. But eventually the big box tier and beyond will have all the representation of the unlocks visually there. So the tier tokens, the alt art cards would be in some pile somewhere, and whatever else, just so you kind of see. But again, this is day 2, so I know Javon's been working all day trying to figure out if and how we should advertise places, and who we should be talking to, and what we can do, and what's happening with the Baby Plum plush, and what's happening with the pins, and yada yada yada. Because once again, we're slightly unprepared for this amount of money this fast. Edmund add Guppy Talks 2 as a Kickstarter incentive. I would love to do Guppy Talks 2, but the thing is, Guppy is dead, so that would be a very awkward video, and I'd probably get, well, all I have is his ashes now, so I could do Guppy Talks just for you. I should go find his urn. It's upstairs. Gungeon crossover. I'm not discussing any warp zones at all, and I'm not going to even hint at anything. And you got nothing from that. I've got what they call a poker face. And you don't know shit. Can we get a warp background for the warp pack cards? Yeah, I thought about it. I like them to have more background themes that are appropriate to the character, which is kind of what I've been doing right now. Maybe I'll change it up in the end. Like, honestly, the cards I've been showing are not even close to final. Like, if we test and it turns out some cards are broken, mechanics will change. If the wording is confusing, the wording will change. And if a background looks better than another background, then yeah, we'll change it. There actually is, Akio did a warp zone background that was supposed to be used for all of them. I used it for some. You'll see it in the future. And it's an arcade background. It's pretty cool. I think it works for some of them, not all of them. So I didn't use it on all of them. I know you said card sleeves are hard, but since the Kickstarter is doing well, is there any chance those can still happen? It's not about the Kickstarter doing well. It's about how much money you guys would have to pay in order for that to happen. I'll show you something here, okay? So let's look up 100 100 dragon sleeve. So we're looking up 100 dragon shield sleeves. Okay. So 100 dragon shield sleeves with nothing on them, right, is $12. If you want graphics on them, printed wise, that goes up. So it would just be a colored, it wouldn't just be a colored thing. It would actually look like the card back, right? Each of these decks is 100. So, and I'm talking about in order to get, for Dragon Shield to sell 100 sleeves at $12, they have to make a bazillion of these things. And so you guys would have to have pre-ordered as add-on enough of these to warrant it. Because if you buy a couple thousand of them and not 40,000 of them, the price would actually go up exponentially. They could be $20 for 100. Some astounding amount. But let's just go by the optimal idea that, say, everyone in this Kickstarter so far wants these Dragon Shield sleeves. In order for us to make any kind of profit off of these things, we would have to sell them for $12 for every 100 sleeves. Okay? This game has over 700 cards. That's you want to spend upwards of $100 on sleeves and then pay another $20, $28, $30 plus to have them shipped to your house. So I know that was a bit of a rant, but people ask it so much. It doesn't seem reasonable to me that anybody would want to pay that amount of money. And then what happens if they break? What happens if we buy just a few more than covering all of our bases? And now you got to buy more. Where are you going to buy them? They were just a limited thing. That and the fact that we would also have to print backs for like bonus cards, character cards. So we've got all these card types: bonus cards, character cards, room cards, treasure cards, monster cards, loot cards, character starting item cards. That many types of cards would have to be made, and they would have to be sold to you in increments of at least 100. I've wasted time on this, but I hope this is recorded and replayed on repeat for anybody else who's asking those questions. It's just not realistic. It cost that much to buy all of the cards. Why would you want to pay double the amount to sleeve them? Just go get cheap, perfect fit sleeves and sleeve the shit out. Just sleeve them all. That's all you need. You don't need custom sleeves. You get perfect fit sleeves on the cheap, like $3.99, $2.99 for 100 of them. You buy enough of those, you can buy them anywhere. You buy them on Amazon or whatever else, and you sleeve your shit. That's what I do. Anyway, I'll scroll down. I'll stop ranting. What material are the play mats? And will they fit into the box? They will not fit into the box. The play mats are this type of material. Can you see this? It almost feels like a mouse pad. Why is it blurry? What are you fucking zooming in on? Go over here. It's a mouse pad. I mean, that's like what it is. It's almost identical. So I have a greed butt mouse pad over here. Here's my nasty ass greed butt mouse pad. It's the same material. It's this exact same material. You could use this as a mouse pad. This is from the last Kickstarter. This is obviously, we haven't printed Peach's art. This is the Alex Party single player play mat from the last Kickstarter. And I think I showed this before, but if and we don't know the dimensions, if the big box was roughly this size, it still wouldn't fit this if we rolled it up. So the answer is no. And I don't even know the logistics of how we're going to ship it to you. Not Javon's problem. And of course, the bigger play mats. This is half of the damn play mat. This is the old one, the brown one. The new tainted play mat is dark and dingy. This is half of the play mat, and that sure as hell can't fit in anything. You just got to keep it on your table and eat on it. I don't fully understand the wording on how to do add-ons. Can you explain that? Of course I can. I have no problem explaining that every single time because I know it is confusing. It's legit confusing. So what you do is you go and you look down and you find stuff that you like. Like, let's say you want a stress ball, $10. Let's say you want a hat or whatever that amount is. What you do is you open up your little pledge thing and you say add money, and then you add that much money. So at the end of the Kickstarter, it's going to lock your pledge oh, I pledged $35 for this tier. So that's locked in. If you add any money to it at the end of the Kickstarter, that money will be allocated to whatever you choose to spend it on, add-on wise. It's basically, we'll open up a little shop that's like, hey, you've got $35 to spend. How would you like to spend that money? And then it would show you what you want, and then you would choose it and spend your money. That's how it works. So just adding any amount of money to it will allocate that money into add-ons. And you can do it after the fact, but it actually helps the Kickstarter for you to do it now. Will the alt cards come included with the big box? Alt art cards will be included in the big box and above. Yes. Someone said that Real Streamer would have a command where the bot would repeat. So that's what they do. See, I'm not hip in the slightest, man. I don't know what's going on. But I just see what I'm going to make a bot that just ignores any mention of sleeves from here on out. Will the plushes be available once the Kickstarter goes away, or will they die with it? Some will remain and some will die. This is a behind the scenes. I'm showing you the Wizard of Oz. Crushing dreams. Okay, this is how it works. When you get something printed from a company, they have increments of what you can buy. The more you buy, the more there's so it's like, oh, I buy 10,000 and now each one of these 10,000 items costs X. And then if you go up to 20,000, all the items drop by a few pennies and the pennies go down. I mean, the pennies will save you shitloads of money in the end, right? Because you're buying so many of these things. But the higher the increment, the lower the cost. But you have to hit increments, right? So if we end up with, let's say, 10,000 orders of Azazel. Well, no, let's say there are 9,000 orders of Azazel. We have to order 10,000 of them. Whatever's left over will go to the shop. When that sells out, we probably won't reprint it, and it's gone. And that's usually how we do it. So basically, whatever overflow we have, we sell. And once those are gone, then they're gone completely. If it happens to hit that increment really well, it might not exist anymore. Or if it didn't sell well, it might not exist. Since a warp zone has Brea and Amber in it, does that mean that Gish and Little Gish will be reprinted for this? Or was that a once and done anniversary thing for Gish? It's once and done. That said, I know I've talked about mystery boxes on every stream, but I do have a grip of Gish cards that were sent to me, as well as copies of the retail version of Gish, and I will definitely be including all those little extras in every single one of the mystery boxes that you guys order. But I don't think you want to be paying $1,000+ for those cards. Not gonna happen. I already answered the material part. Okay, I'm scrolling down. When is shipping? I'm assuming you mean when do we ship? I'll answer both assumptions, because I also don't know if you're talking about when do you pay for shipping. You pay for shipping when the Kickstarter ends. The information on shipping is at the bottom of the page. It'll give you a rough idea of the tier that you pledged and how much it costs to ship that tier. If you buy add-ons, those will also need shipping, but we will consolidate shipping. So if something was like, okay, this add-on costs $10 to ship, and you also got the $35 box, and that's $14 to ship, the total is not going to be $24. It's going to be less than that, because we're going to consolidate shipping. in order to save you guys money to the best of our ability. What are the tier tokens used for? They are to keep track of things. There are a lot of cards that say when something happens, add a token to this so you can track something. Like there is a boss that I'm working on. Here's a teaser. A future Warp Zone boss that I was working on, that when it was killed for the first time, instead of going to the graveyard or you getting its soul, you put a counter on it. And then it reads on the card, if this has a counter, then do this. So it's kind of like it has to be killed twice. So it's a 2-phase boss, and the second phase is an upgraded version of that boss with another special ability that it has that's represented by a token. There are many characters that utilize tokens, and you get 10 of those tier tokens in this. People have been begging for tokens for ages, so we're doing it. Is the Binding of Isaac real? Yeah, it's totally real. Will the Target exclusive cards be added? If so, which pledges? They won't. I don't have any. I think I have maybe have 2-3 of each of them of my own personal stock. And I don't even think I have any more Target. I don't think I do. I don't even think I have any more Target edition boxes. That's I might only have one left. I gave them away to friends and family when I got them. The Target cards are hard to get now. We got distributed for over a year. I think almost like a year and a half in Target, and it sold really well. And then they downsized their gaming section, so we didn't continue. So it's a scarce item now, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I will not reprint cards that I promised people that I wouldn't reprint, because it would suck for the people who went out of their way to buy them. Is there a chance we won't be able to get the add-ons if we want it, if they get sold out before we get one? No, that's not how it works. Unless you're talking about Tapeworm, but again, I don't think that's going to sell out. We have a lot of copies of Tapeworm. They're the only item that we currently have printed and made. All the other items are essentially print on demand, and we produce that many of them to accommodate your needs post Kickstarter. That's how the whole Kickstarter works. We don't have anything made at all, and the end of the Kickstarter tells us how many need to be made, and we make exactly that much. So you don't have to worry about scarcity for add-ons. But again, the more money you add sooner, the better we do. Also the fact that, obviously we're doing great. We're about to hit 3.6. Oh, we crossed 3.6. Now we're at 3.62. The bigger the money number and the bigger the backers, the more this spreads around. Like, it's just kind of how it goes. So it is always helpful to raise your pledge in the beginning, for sure. And I would very much appreciate it. But if you're, worried about your money situation or whatever else, you don't get charged until the very end. But I think a lot of people know that and abuse it. So a lot of people going in, and this is something to keep in mind at the end, a lot of people going in will pledge the highest tier because they know they won't be charged for it until the end, just because of the scarcity of said tier. So a lot of people went in and got these limited edition tiers, and they're sitting on them, but they may not be 100% serious in the end. So during the last day of the Kickstarter, you'll see people jump around and open. So some of the limited edition tiers will suddenly open up, or they'll even move up to higher tiers at the end and then leave the limited edition ones open. It's pretty crazy to watch. And I know a lot of people play that little bouncing back and forth game. So again, you don't have to worry too much about anything pledge wise until the end, when you can configure it as you wish. And again, changing your pledge, as long as it's above 35, won't affect you getting the Tainted Isaac, which goes away in an hour and 30 minutes. Is there any way to add the gold box card as an add-on? No. That wouldn't be fair to the people who paid upwards of $250 simply to get the expansion pack of the gold box. That would be super fucked thing to do to them, and I won't do it. That expansion is exclusive to Kickstarter, and that expansion is exclusively tied to the base game. And technically you're paying $5 more than the original people paid as well. It's a shitty situation for them, especially the original backers, as well as people who, had to buy the expansion on eBay for a lot of money. Do the Tapeworm cards match the Kickstarter cards on the sides and background? The backgrounds don't match anymore at all because they're not being reprinted. So all of the second edition versions of the cards, so 4 Souls Plus as well as the base game, have new backgrounds. Not the backs of the cards, new backgrounds to the fronts of the cards. They don't match any of the previous promos or anything else like that. And we won't be reprinting those cards. Once again, the Tapeworm cards are from the previous Kickstarter. They are our leftovers, and they aren't like a new print. Okay. Okay. If I spent over $35 in general, will I get the Tainted Isaac figure? Yes. As long as you've done it before an hour and a half. Before midnight tonight, PST. Any chance of getting a real spin down? Either a D8 or D20 would be neat. Probably no. When is shipping? So I'm going to assume then you meant the other thing. When do we ship? When is shipping? I don't know when we ship for sure. I think there's an estimated shipping time of next year, around this time, a year from now. It may ship sooner. It shouldn't ship later. It all depends on the situation, the kind of the world and what's happening. I'm scrolling down. Okay. Does the add-on Big Boy box come with stretch goals and special alt art cards? Yes. We should probably add the visuals for that. Javon, if you're listening, we should probably do that sooner than later. I know you've been busy, but maybe tomorrow we can add those just so people can see that they are actually getting more. The Big Boy box it comes with all the stretch goals. That's the tier that you get everything. If you just get Requiem, you're only getting the warp zones. You don't get the alt art cards, and you don't get all the, the extra tokens and coloring pages and all the shit that you've unlocked. A 3.5 million YouTuber tweeted you about giving him a repentance code. Did you see it? Twitter is no. So, I spent 2 hours today going through tweets. Like, you guys are fucking insane. Like, and I have to check everything, and then once I check off everything, I feel so overwhelmed that I can't even get through it. So I'm literally not reading the text tweets. I'm looking for pictures, links, and videos. I'm scrolling through for those specific things so I can check off the list. So high probability that I missed that. If he's verified on Twitter, I could always look in the verified section and kind of see what you're talking about. So I'll look at that now. If not, I don't know. Tweet at me again and hope that I find it. I do have codes, so I can send it to him. Can I get a $35 plush without getting the game? Of course. You just pledge $1, and then you raise that to $35. And not only will you get a plush, you'll also get a Tainted Isaac if you do it before the time is up, which is an hour and 26 minutes. Is Isaac's mom Christian or Catholic? Fuck. I think she's Christian, but maybe she grew up Catholic. Both. The imagery in Isaac comes from the fact that my mom's side, especially my grandma, was very, very hardcore Catholic. And we went to Catholic church. And then my dad's side were all born again hardcore Christians. So very much like Christian broadcasts. More specifically, recovery Christians, if you guys know that. If you're poor, you might. So yeah, I had it from both angles, and I pulled imagery from both sides. I'm way more of a fan of Catholic stuff because it's really cool, and there's a lot of ritualistic aspects to it, and the imagery is dark as fuck, especially Mexican Catholic, which is what my grandmother was. A lot of that magical Santeria-esque Mexican Catholic stuff is pretty cool, and I pull a lot from that as well. If I pledge in the add-on tier, can I also pledge in the $150 tier? Yeah, you just pledge $150 and then raise your pledge by the amount of money you would like to purchase add-ons with. I'm getting better at that. What about some holo cards? You know, that's a possibility. We can cross that bridge. That can definitely be something. Like, if somehow we do crush our final goal of I think the final goal is like 6. The final unlock that we have that we've considered, which was an impossible goal, was 6.6 million, which isn't even double what we have now. If we pass that, I think for the 7 million mark, we could definitely do a set of like foil. Don't quote me on it. I'll have to go over it with Javon. But if Javon's cool with it, I would like to possibly do for 7 million a full hollow character, all hollow character cards, and then we can do another one 500 past that as like all hollow starting items, and then past that we can do all hollow bonus souls. So those are the only ones I want to do. Could there be scanimated cards? I don't know how to do those. The ones that go like this, I assume. I have no idea. It'd be cool. I don't think that's going to happen this time. How many Tainted Isaac figures have been made? None. Nothing has been made. That's the whole point of this thing. Nothing has been made. We will make as many as you guys back in the first roughly 30,000, probably, depending on who pledges what. Roughly 30,000 Tainted Isaacs will be made thus far. Scrolling down. Could we get placeholder cards for the Enigma and the double face cards? There aren't any other double face cards, and you don't need placeholder cards for the Enigma. I've got a brain breaker for you. Check it out. You take all of the player cards and you shuffle them, and you don't look at them. You shuffle them, right? And then you stop and you look down and you see if the top card, the top back card isn't the Enigma. And if it isn't, you take the bottom card from the deck and then you deal it out. It covers up the double face card and there's no issue. Fucking life hacked it. I always tell Danielle it's my pro-life tip, and then she has to correct me and say that's not what that means. Will the big box design be more in line with the first edition, second edition box? Yes. Just like last Kickstarter, the boxes that we put up, like those aren't real boxes. Those are like 3D rendered objects with very basic placeholder art on them that just gets the job done. In the end, I think Accio will do the box. It'll probably get it to look something close to Crystal's previous box, but large. There'll probably be little nods here and there. It'll be a post Kickstarter thing that him and I kind of do together and find little cool bits and pieces to do there. I always have fun with that. I got to tell a story with the first box, and I'd like to be able to do it again. Will there be an option to add a mystery box to your pledge? Or is the only way to get it the super big tier? The mystery box is a pledge for people who have a lot of money, who like to throw it around and flex their money muscle, and like to get weirdly, they're literally paying to get a box of the possibility of getting trash from my house. It's not for your average Joe. So no, I won't. There's just going to be a few of them, like maybe 10 or 20. They'll be very, very limited. It's mostly for people who want to donate more and just say that they backed the top and then have the possibility of gaining something super special that I hand drew for them, or something that's literally trash. What happened to the music shown in Oh, okay. I can't answer that now. I'm going to answer Kickstarter stuff, and I'm going to stop pretty soon. I'm going to answer 2 more Kickstarter questions. I'm going to go over these tiers with you, and then I'll answer non-Kickstarter questions. Okay, here it is. I like how you're all addressing me directly. Okay, last question. I'll find a good one. Will 4 Souls be available after... 4 Souls Plus be available after the Kickstarter? That's not a good question. Everything should be available for the most part after the Kickstarter, but it will not have any Kickstarter things in it. So it won't get a bunch of... You'll never be able to get the Warp Zone cards, the alt art cards, and a good chunk of the fluff, like stickers and tattoos and all that good stuff. Okay, let's find a good one. For the $800 tier, if we hit 4 million, what pins would we get? Well, we'll hit 4 million. Pins, so the next unlock is at 4 million, and it is pins. And maybe I'll just show them to you right now. Fuck it. Let's look at the pins. Don't tell all the other Kickstarter people about that I'm doing this, because you guys are getting exclusive info a day into the future. Let's find it. Where is it? Pins. Check it out. We don't have a price for these. All right, check it out, dudes. This is the coolest shit ever. And I wanted to do this from the start, and it's taken a little while to nail down exactly how we're doing. These are enamel pins. They're super cool. And there are 25, right? No, 6 times. Is there more than I thought there were? No, there's a lot more. Wait, that's not even an even number. Yeah, you do the math. I think there's 25. There are 25 of these pins. Once we unlock these pins at 4 million, every person will get a random pin. One random pin will be dropped into their big boy box tier and above. You won't know. You won't have any control, and neither will I. And then, for an undisclosed amount of money, there will also be an add-on where you can get a pack of 5 randomly selected pins. And don't fucking fight me on this. It's going to be random. You are not going to be able to get the full collection. I fucking hate that. Just let this happen. Trust me, it's more fun. I know you want everything, but I don't like that, and I want to have fun here. This is for me. 5 randomly selected pins for an add-on. The $800 tier will get 5 randomly selected pins, period. They will get it for free, and this is an upcoming add-on. And I think it's fucking cool. And I'm not even looking at the chat. I don't care if you don't think it's cool, because it is cool. You're wrong. You're wrong. It's good that you can't get everything you want. There's more to it. If you want, you're not going to get. If you want them all, you're going to have to fucking trade. It's just too cool. It's too cool to be the person who got Godhead. You know what I mean? And there's some charm in being the guy who got the poop. You know, or Butterbean. Too cool. Too cool. 26. There's 26. Sure, 26. Anywho, that's that. Let's do these fucking things. We're doing this. Planetarium time. This is the 4th social goal. And I'll go over it with you now. Let's read it together. The planetarium. Number 1. 20 people do music covers of their favorite Ridiculon Isaac tracks. I am not going to credit people who just make sounds with their mouth. Maybe if you hit a drum, like a drum circle situation, while having you and a friend make sounds with your mouth, I'll credit maybe a few of those. But I want to see some, like, so you guys went above and beyond for a lot of the previous ones, especially today. I was pretty blown away. Like, you guys really did it, and I appreciated it. I loved it, and I want to do more of that. So feel free to wow me. I'll definitely DM anybody who goes really above and beyond and get some info and then maybe send you something special. Excuse me if, I will eventually do that. I promise. I'm taking notes. And that's number 1. Number 2, take and post 80 pictures of in real life Isaac items with hashtag tears up. All items must be different. So the majority of items in Isaac are all represented in the real world. And I need you guys to make 80 of them or take pictures of them just existing, like a wire coat hanger. Don't steal my idea. That's mine. A picture of it. But the kicker here is that you can't choose an item that hasn't already been done by somebody else or has already been done by somebody else. Excuse me. So keep that in mind. So check out what people on this hashtag are posting and do one that hasn't been done. I want 80 different items represented here. You can do it. We did something like this last time and it was actually pretty fun. Next, take and post 28 pictures of your children or siblings with Isaac's tears painted on them looking sad. I'm looking for children with tears painted on their faces looking sad. Go vague. I want it to be almost a 20 questions back and forth, and I want you to just tell them the most obscure, stupid shit possible, and I want them to get it. I want 20 employees to guess correctly. I want you to do this on speakerphone, obviously, and I want you to record it so I can see and or hear it, and that should be fun. This is close to prank calling we can get without harassing people. Okay. Design. Final one. Design 25 Four Souls cards. I'm only going to accept the cards that are actually have effort put into them. So like drawing them on a little card or actually doing a Photoshop job or whatever else. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of modders out there who already have existing cards that they're going to pitch. I want to see at least 25 of them. Then at the end, I will choose 4 of them. Once number 5 is completed, I will choose 4 that I like the most, and then I will do a 24-hour vote, and you guys will vote on which one of those gets added to the game, with your permission, of course. So this warp zone is going to be a warp zone, plus also adds an extra card to Requiem. And there we go. Do you guys have any questions about this specifically? If you do, ask it now. I don't have a template on me for custom cards. I honestly would like you to just draw it on a piece of paper. I think that would go over better. Did I say discurb? Tell them discurb. Well, I'll try to fix that. I won't probably remember it though. Okay. So be creative. I'm gonna get harsher on what I'm accepting. So for the past two, definitely the first two. For the first 2 social goal to-do lists, I kind of just credited whatever I saw, even if it wasn't at all. If it was a little funny, then I gave it a pass. So at this time, I want to see effort, and I'm going to credit effort only. Not just because you guys are blowing through these, but because I want to raise the bar for you, and I know you can do better. Okay, we've got 10 minutes, and I got to correct my spelling here. Discrube. I will. All cards count. You design whatever you'd like. Trinkets count. Anything. Every fucking thing. And for GameStop, yes, any GameStop equivalent, even there's a place here in Santa Cruz called Level Up, and I will credit that. Anything that sells like new or used video games. Now, I would like to open up the chat to non-Kickstarter questions only. I will answer them for the next 10 minutes, and then I've got to help Danielle because I can hear the baby crying upstairs. Danielle has been amazing, and she is actually... The kids aren't going to sleep right now. Danielle's with them upstairs, and I can hear the baby screaming every once in a while. So we got to get off of here. Okay. The questions that you're asking me are, any chance of a future Kickstarter of 4 Souls as an online card game? I don't think so. No. But there is an official mod on Tabletop Sim that I will be pushing once things died down a bit, because I want it to get the attention it deserves, because they did a great job. And if you have Tabletop, you can play the game essentially for free. Are there any plans to make Tainted Apollyon figure or any other Tainted figures than just Isaac? No. First comes first, and that is finish the whole set. We've got 5-ish characters that still need to be made. They won't be made during this Kickstarter. They will either be made, they'll be made next year, hopefully. If I choose Guardian Angel right when the thing came out, but then I upgraded to $200, can I buy some merch? Now it says that I will have backment without engagement, $200. I have no fucking clue what that is, and I'm sorry. Please ask technical questions on the website, and they will be able to help you. Will you be rebalancing Tainted Lazarus and Repentance? If so, what will that look like? I talked about that briefly before. His item will probably flip items in some interesting way. Maybe there's a parallel to each item. They kind of flip on the spectrum. So like, you know how the spin down dice spins downward on the number, on the internal number of the items. Flip might flip to the equivalent of the span of them, if that makes much sense. Basically, you'd have to kind of figure out like, oh, Brimstone will turn into this when flipped. I think they could also maybe use a stat boost to start with, and I think that's probably good enough. But again, you know, we'll have to test and figure it out. Did Isaac knowingly commit suicide in the chest, or was his death an accident? That is the question, right? That is the question that will never be answered, and that is the big question. Did Isaac intentionally kill himself because he didn't like who he was, or did he accidentally lock himself in the box to get away from his mom? You'll never know. Any possibility of plushes for Dogma, Delirium, and the Forgotten in the future? Sure. Yeah, we'll definitely probably do more. What's this? Person detected. 1 second. Why would that be? Who would be here? Oh, I see. Danielle ordered food. I'm like, who the fuck is at my door at 11? It's the snack man. Okay, what am I doing? I don't understand the thematics of the dark room and the lamb. What exactly are they? Spoiler, the dark room is the closet. That was what I was alluding to. The dark room is the closet, where Isaac is locked away in the dark room. And the lamb is Isaac dead as a demon. Should be pretty straightforward. Looks just like him. That is his evil side. That's the game splits. The food's here, Danielle. The game splits, and you either choose Isaac to ascend, where his soul ascends to heaven, and you release it, or you drop down, and you go basically into hell, and you are confronted with the fact that Isaac is dead, and you see how he feels about himself because he's represented as this dead demon. It's basically a dead forgotten with horns, and there's more to that, and I can't. That's the reason why the Forgotten is like dug up down there and all that sort of stuff too. But you know what I want to do? I want to do a lore, not so much a lore, but I guess if this is lore, that's what it is. I want to do a lore stream where I go through every item in the game, and I tell you all the in-jokes that I am making that you don't understand. I think that'll be fun. Let's scroll down. few more minutes here. Did the guy who wanted you to be a cow, is he actually the voice actor for the dad? So you are just not in on the joke, sir. Tio. My uncle. That was Matthias reading a tweet. He didn't. That guy that you saw is the voice of Dad. He was reading a tweet, a badly translated German to English tweet that somebody was rage sending me. Is there anything you wish or regret with The Binding of Isaac? I don't regret much. I wish I could work on it forever. But I know that I won't grow as a designer, or if I do, it'll be very, slow. That's what I wish. I wish that I could like pause time and then like do another expansion or do a sequel or whatever else. But I know that I only have so much time on Earth, and I would like to make other projects because I actually think I could get better as a designer, and I could make games that you guys have never played before, just like The Binding of Isaac, that you would really dig. And one of them is called Mugenics, and I want to make it. Okay, is the pill called I Can See Forever? Wait, the pill is called I Can See Forever, yet it only works for one floor. Why is this? It's just because I needed a pill where it would show everything, and I needed something funny to put with it. And there was a meme called I Think I Can See Forever, and it was this guy who had like crazy cock eyes, and it was really funny, and I thought it was funny to put it there. That's it. The end. Repentance on Switch when? Third quarter of the year at some point. Okay, I'm not taking your trinket ideas right here. When are you supposed to publish the translated versions of the game? When are you supposed to publish the translated versions of the game, Edmund? 2022? I don't know what you're talking about. What game are you talking about? Talking about the card game? My roommate gave me a handmade Isaac plush Daniel made. I'm assuming it's Daniel. My roommate gave me a handmade Isaac plush Daniel made to be his groomsman. Can you suggest anything I can give him Isaac related as a thank you? I guess you could go to the Nicholas store and see what remains there and try to order something from them, but that's the only place that you can really go right now to get anything, and everything is sold out. Will there be buffs to Tainted Jacob? Yes. The main buff to Tainted Jacob is to just make sure that Esau doesn't die. It was a cute idea to start. It wasn't tested enough. Didn't realize he could die so easily late. He would gain HP, but it just didn't scale correctly late game. So we're simply going to make it so he can't be killed. I thought people would use that as an alternate way to win at the end. You could like take him all the way to a boss and then blow him up, and it would just make you the lost and then whatever. But that didn't work in the slightest. So we're just going to make it so he's invincible. So you'll always have this pit bull on a chain that you can shoot at people that you have to avoid. What do the tainted characters represent? They represent abuse, brother. They are the abused versions, the broken versions of all the characters. Can we suggest guest artists? If so, where? I think I have enough, honestly. Like I said, I think I've got like 45. And in case we do over 45,000 backers, then I might open it up again. But chances are I'll be able to gauge that in the next week, and I kind of have a few people on my mental list already, and I think I would just kind of do that. Scrolling. Okay, I'm almost on live mode. Okay. What does the repentance alt path with the knife and mother mean or represent for Isaac? It's hard to say because I didn't actually make that. I made the knife piece stuff, like the mirror world and mom's head and all that stuff. But the alt path means doesn't mean anything. It's just an alt path. It doesn't represent anything. It was in the anti-birth mod, and I thought it was cool, so we put it in. I don't know what it means to Vin. Mother originally was called the witness, and I believe Vin said it represented Isaac's guilt for killing his mom. But in my version of the game, Isaac doesn't actually kill his mom. His mom, it's just all in his head. And I kind of wanted to riff on that feeling of guilt. So I wrote the whole story of Isaac seeing his mother as a monster and then getting locked in the closet, and kind of that her evil side is represented by this dead, decaying giant mom that you need the knife to get to. I got to get off here soon. I'm going to answer 4 more questions and I'm going to get off here. Any plans to make it possible to transfer a Switch save file to Steam or Repentance? No. It's probably a lot harder than you'd think. Again, I'm not a technical person, but you'd have to plan ahead for something like that for the most part. I don't think it's easily done. So no. Will Repentance come to console, and will you fix the crashing problem? I didn't know there was a crashing problem. If there's a crashing problem, you should definitely report it, and we should be able to fix it. And it will come to console 3rd quarter at some point this year. What was the thought process behind Gray Matter, and have you considered converting your old Flash games, such as Gray Matter, to non-Flash engine in the future? Gray Matter is my favorite non-Isaac Edmund game. So if those of you who don't know, Gray Matter was a Flash game where you played as a bullet. It was a shooter like Geometry Wars, except you were the bullet. The bullet could be killed by flashing projectiles, but your goal was to move through enemies and kill them. And then you would combo. If you would kill the same enemy, you could combo and then if you could make a triangle, it would like kill everything within the triangle. It was a cool little game I'd come up with, and I actually made it with Tommy. And it won't see the light of day because Tommy and I don't speak. So it's not gonna happen. I think sometimes games aren't the sequel of a game isn't warranted, and that was very much a one-off. And it is what it is. I like what we did, and I'm fine with it not being expanded. I don't think the idea is like so amazing that I would want to expand it. What did Tainted Apollyon do to get the void stuck in his face? The void was always there, my son. The void was always there. He just broke open. Is the ending after the beast taking place in Isaac's mind moments before his death? Me and my friend believe the "Are you getting sleepy yet?" is alluding to Isaac dying. Hey, I put a lot of thought into my work. Nothing is ever straightforward, and Isaac is a game that means a lot of things. Take it as you will. That's all I'm saying. Any chance of an Isaac vinyl record? I answered this one before. Yeah, if Matthias and John want to do it, they totally can do it. And maybe that'll be part of the next Kickstarter. There is a loose plan late next year. I would like to do an art book, an encyclopedia, 2 different books on Kickstarter for The Binding of Isaac. Maybe that's the most appropriate time to kind of go all in and be like, what do you guys want? Do you want a vinyl album? And then we'll strike a deal with the boys and make that happen. Already talked about Tainted Lazarus. Please update The Binding of Isaac mobile eventually. No, dude, we put that. It was took forever to get that approved. They took it away from us. They fucked everybody over. It barely. No, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. That is what it is. Do social goal cards need to already be in Isaac, or can we? What? Do social goal cards need to already be in Isaac, or can we add things on theme? No, they have to be stuff from Isaac. Yeah, it has to be stuff from The Binding of Isaac. We're not doing Warp Zone cards. We're not doing cards from other people's games, and we're not doing other things that you've made up. When are items like C-section and birthrights going to do things for other characters? Hopefully in the next update. Currently, Vin is working on an update to do exactly that. The goal is by probably the 15th of the month to have the game in a state that could be printed. So the idea is, what happens if the Binding of Isaac is on... So eventually all digital games die. That's just the reality. If a game is put on a disc or a cartridge, it stays that way forever. So if in the future, when updates aren't supported, you want to be able to have a complete game without having to update when the game is turned on. The goal is to make sure all that stuff is ready so we can have it printed by the third quarter on console, and that's what he's currently working on. What does the Delirium rework look like? It looks like nothing right now. I hope to eventually get to it, but it would just mean making it a little better. Any changes to downpour or dross for those with visual impairments? I think you can raise the gamma, right? You can always do that. But man, if you think it's dark now, you don't know what it looked like originally. Okay, I've already answered too many. I'm going to answer one more. I'm going to try to choose a good one. Dun, 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 dun. I'm looking for a good one. Will Repentance console version be getting a debug console like the Steam version? No, absolutely not. It doesn't even make sense. You don't have a keyboard to type on it regardless. And the debug console, I know you guys use it to cheat and it's a whatever, you know, but that's for modding and testing. It's not for you to unlock everything, and it's not for you to cheat. If you want to do that, that's whatever. But on console, I have complete control, and I'm saying not only is it unfeasible, it's not going to happen. And I don't want to leave off on that note. Is there a chance for Repentance physical on PC? That is a thing. I want to say yes. There's a publisher that I can talk to about that has done physical PC publishing. Maybe that's something I can look into once the game is completed 100% and we can put it on disc. Yes. All right, guys. I'm going to get ready to go to bed and help Danielle eat whatever food she ordered. I'm hoping that she got something that I could eat. And I'm hoping it's a cupcake. I can only eat vegan, gluten-free cupcakes. Not because I'm vegan and not because I want to be gluten-free, but because I'm allergic to every fucking thing on earth. And if I eat a regular cupcake, I will have liquid ass all day the next day. And that is my life. And on that, good night. I will see you tomorrow. I got to post this damn thing on there. All right. I will be doing the usual updates when I wake up around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as noon. I will be spoiling stuff and updating and reading all your shit and going through stuff and checking things off the list. Please send me your stuff. Please tell everybody to buy this thing. You guys only have 50 minutes to get the Tainted Isaac. Tell people that until the time is up, and then don't